What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. In this one, I just wanted to real briefly, sort of off the cuff, talk about college versus starting a business. And if you've been following me for any period of time now, you know that I am so far at the end of the bell curve that I've only been in a high school building, public high school building, like 7 times, I think. I've lost count, but I know it's no more than 7, right? And so, you know, my perspective on the academic world is kind of different. I just want to dig into really why I'm doing what I'm doing and what you can sort of learn from me and what to take away from the path that I've chosen. And, you know, because right now I run 2 different businesses. I run a marketing agency and I run a training business. And I run the marketing agency and I serve clients, and, you know, they pay me tons of money to handle their marketing for them, run ads, stuff like that. And then I have another business where I train people how to do what I do and how to run a marketing agency. So those are the 2 businesses. They feed off each other. It's a really beautiful thing. And I just want to explain to you, like, why I not only didn't go to high school in the first place really at all, and also whether you should go to college or start a business, and sort of see if I can hit some good points there. Let's get into it. So to start off, I just want to say this, and it's a very blanket statement. I could be wrong in many areas, but I firmly do believe that, you know, when a government comes in and tries to control something from the top without taking the feedback of the people, in general, it tends to not work. It's kind of like running a business and forgetting about your customers, and that's ultimately what they're doing. So with the education system, you know, it only works to some extent. And, you know, the American education system gets, like, made fun of constantly, and that's the core reason why, is it's really not focused on results. To be honest, it's more so focused on having a good education system so that they can take, like, more taxes and call it education. And now again, that's this perspective of a guy who's literally been in a high school building like 7 times and has been on a college campus only to visit his now ex-girlfriend like 4 or 5 times. And so, like, I only know about the system what I've learned from friends and from my own research. And now I have a fat library. Like, I'm always learning. I do not think that you should ever stop learning. I think you should be a student of the world and have a goal with the knowledge that you're obtaining. Like, don't just obtain knowledge just to obtain it. Have, like, this is what I'm going to do with this, right? And so for me, I have 2 focuses. I have ministry and business. You know, I'm a Christian, so I have a small group of young men that I host in my home, and I mentor these kids. This weekend, this Saturday, we're having a 9-hour prayer day. Very special thing. I don't care if you're not religious. It's a very special thing to get to commit to this sort of a thing, and that's one area. Next is business, and that's where I just want to make a butt ton of money, and I just want to figure out I'm a hard capitalist. I'm a capitalist freaking pig. I want to make a bunch of money, but I also want to serve a bunch of people and change a bunch of lives. And so those are my sort of goals, and so I form my personal education around those goals. Now, the issue with education from my perspective is, in the first place, they assume that once you're educated, you will then find a goal. And that's just not the case. People don't learn and then find a goal after they're done learning. People have a goal and then they learn to achieve it. And so, in the first place, the education system is broken from that respect. Now, I want to stop dissing the education system. I know it works for many people, and I know many people are very happy with it. So, you know, that's just my perspective. I've got plenty of friends who have gone to college and say they wouldn't be where they're at if they didn't go to college, and there's certain careers where that's the case. So it all comes down to, and this is, a buddy of mine said this on his Instagram story recently, and I really liked this perspective. He said, it all comes down to self-awareness. So, you know, what do you think you're able to do with a college degree? Like, just be honest with yourself. Is it something that you're doing because you see it turning into opportunity? Or is it something that you're doing because it's just the right thing to do and your parents want you to do it, and if you don't do it, then it might be socially unacceptable or something like that, right? Now, I had to deal for a long time with the social unacceptability of not going to high school and then also not going to college. And, you know, I call myself a high school dropout, and I call myself all kinds of different things. Now my Instagram bio says, been in a high school building 7 times. Like, I think that's a really cool statement. But at the same time, it does offend some people. Like, they're like, you know, who are you? You know, who are you to go out and do something if you haven't gotten a proper education? And I don't know, I'm just some kid, to be honest with you. But my perspective is, know what you're capable of and line up your education with fueling what you believe you can do. And if that is college, awesome, do it. But just be aware that there's a lot of debt involved. And on average, most people who go to college end up with a severe amount of debt and very little to show for it other than, you know, a degree. Now, if you have a plan and you've already talked to the company that you want to work for, or, you know, you already have studied and been mentored underneath people in a certain field, and they are like, look, you are not going to make any money unless you go get a degree in this specific field, then college is a great idea. But it's a horrible idea if you're just going to socialize, if you're just going because it's the right thing to do, if you're just going because a degree feels like it's some sort of safety. For me personally, saving 50 grand is more safety than having a piece of paper that tells me I can enter a certain industry with slightly more authority. And so that's my perspective. Should you start a business or should you go to college? It comes down to self-awareness. It comes down to why you're doing either or. I started a business because I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. My father is an entrepreneur. He's a digital marketer as well. You know, my mom sells her artwork. She paints these beautiful abstract works of art. I helped her launch that business. I've done some marketing for her. And, you know, I'm getting a house here soon, and I want my whole house filled with her art, right? And so just super entrepreneurial. I grew up in a house where that's just kind of the norm. And as well, you know, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I was also homeschooled. So I just grew up in an environment where I just learned from my parents, and then I found some people that I just gravitated towards and got them as my mentors. I had a handful of friends my age, but more than anything, I just learned under adults and people who were wise. And that's sort of my upbringing, and that's why a lot of people say, you know, hey, you seem really wise for your age. Well, it's because I, you know, didn't waste my time, you know, just hanging out just to hang out. I've been very intentional from the start. But I'm sort of rambling now, and I realize that. So should you go to college? If it's the necessary thing for you to do and you feel like it's going to be a good return on your investment, then yes. If you feel like you can make money without going to college, then don't even consider college. A lot of people go for the social aspect as well. Well, you can just kind of show up to a college on a weekend or even on a weekday sometimes and just hang out with your friends. Like the college social aspect, you can get that elsewhere, and you can also create that for yourself. So there's, in my head, if there's any financial vehicle at all disposable to you that will make you any more than like $5 grand a month, which with the internet is stupid easy, then I wouldn't even consider college. I would respect everybody that's going, because I made this stupid mistake of like disrespecting people's life choices, and I lost a lot of friends because of that. I would literally like make fun of them and be like, this is stupid. You realize you're being stupid, right? And they're like, no, this is just what I have to do. I want a career and this is what I have to do. And so people assign emotional value to these things, and it's not of you to challenge them. Don't challenge anybody, respect everybody. There's no reason for you to come across like you're disrespecting their worldview and what they think is the right way, because as far as I know, what I'm doing is the wrong way. And when I'm 30, I'll be dead broke and, you know, have nothing to my name and no proof of the work that I'm putting in now. I don't see that coming, but it's a reality that I could at some point face, and maybe college is the reason why. So that's my perspective. You know, don't listen to the noise. Don't listen to the honor of getting a degree. To me, you know, it's propaganda. It really does feel that way sometimes. All these ads that you see, like I saw an ad for a college on YouTube, and it was like, come here to find yourself. Like, I don't have to spend freaking 50 grand to find myself. You know, like that's literally the ad angle. Of course, it was sort of a more artsy-fartsy school, and it wasn't really like a get down and dirty, get a degree that's going to make you money school. But at the same time, it's like, you know, hey, come find yourself. You know, it's like there's so many cheaper, more effective ways to find yourself. So, you know, when you look at their marketing even, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for reasons for you to really attend. The only real reason for you to attend is this money, this 40, 50 grand that I'm going to spend, is going to turn into more money later, and it's going to make the investment worth it. So it kind of just comes down to math. As much as it comes down to self-awareness, it also comes down to math. Are you able to make money outside of it? If yes, forget about it. At least push it back a couple years. It's crazy to me that the social norm is right out of high school. We hop into college, which is supposed to define our career for the rest of our lives. Like, holy crap. Like, most people change careers 5 or 6 times these days. You know, with, you know, the gig economy coming up and freelancing is becoming more popular, like, people kind of shift and just try different things, and they're bouncing around on average, right? And so college doesn't solidify you in a certain career path. Even some of my students that I work with, you know, they are college graduates with MBAs, and they're paying a 19-year-old kid who just runs his business out of his house for advice. And it's just, you know, I really do recommend that you really think about your decision to go to college. And I'm not dissing it. It's the right path for a few select people, and if you're one of those select people, go all in and forget everything that I've said about it, because again, I've never been, and I probably will never go, and I probably don't have the right perspective on it. But this is from the perspective of a kid who does what he does, digital marketing, runs a business from his home, and just wants to help you think about all the variables when it comes to your decision about college. So once again, thanks for watching. If I offended you in this, I really don't care, to be honest with you. I hope you see the value of, a shared opinion or like viewpoint. If you want to add any to the conversation, comments are down below. But, my advice ultimately is, dude, if you want to start a business, start a business. You don't need college to start a business. So many people who go to college to start a business end up not starting businesses because they get taught so much bullcrap. Business school is much different than most other degrees. Sure, yeah, I see that, because they have to teach you all kinds of crazy cool stuff. But, you could also just read a handful of good books and then maybe find a couple mentors and buy a couple online programs, and you are not only far more in the green than most college graduates are in terms of finances, but you also can then work at your own pace, and there's no pressure for you to perform, which is a huge thing in our culture. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. Sorry for the rambly nature of this video. Hope it made sense to you. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, turn on notifications, all that stuff. Tons of videos coming out soon, and I'll see you in the next one.